You've probably noticed the output window at the bottom of the Visual Studio screen when you build a project or run one in debug mode. In this lesson, you'll examine the output window and understand the information it provides. To begin, open the JOSBAR Web Application project from your Sample Files folder. Now build the project. To do this, right-click JOSBAR Web Application in the Solution Explorer and click Build from the shortcut menu. The output window appears at the bottom of the screen. Note that if the output window doesn't appear, you'll need to reset Visual Studio's window layout. To do this, click Window, Reset Window Layout, and click Yes when prompted to confirm. If the output window is still not displayed, you can manually display it by clicking Debug, Windows, Output. The output window shows the messages generated by the compiler as it builds your project. The first line tells you that the compiler has started building the JOSBAR Web Application project using the release profile. The second line tells you that the code of the JOSBAR Web Application project has been compiled into a file called josbarwebapplication.dll. The third line tells you that the compiler has finished without any errors. The output window is also useful while debugging. Run the project in debug mode by clicking Debug, Start Debugging. A web browser window opens, displaying the site. Now return to Visual Studio without closing your web browser. If you close your web browser, the virtual web server will be stopped, so it's important to keep it open. Now click the Output tab at the bottom of the Visual Studio screen to display the output window if it isn't already displayed. The output window shows an enormous number of messages. These messages were generated by the virtual web server. Note that if you don't see any messages in the output window, it's possible that you simply need to scroll up using the Windows scroll bar. If you still don't see any messages, you're seeing a bug in Visual Studio that sometimes prevents the virtual web server from displaying messages. If this happens, simply stop debugging and start debugging again. The correct messages will then be displayed. Click the drop-down menu at the top of the output window and click Build. The project is automatically built whenever you start debugging. In Build mode, the output window will display the messages generated by the compiler when it builds the project. Since the project has not changed since it was last built, Visual Studio didn't bother to recompile it. This means that the output window is blank. Now close your web browser window and return to Visual Studio. If the output window isn't already visible at the bottom of your screen, click the Output button to display it. Now click the drop-down menu at the top of the output window and switch back to Debug. Scroll down to the last messages in the output window if they're not already displayed. Here, you can see the messages reporting that Internet Explorer, that's iexplore.exe, and the virtual web server, that's webserver40.exe, have been closed. You'll learn how to send your own messages to the output window using compiler directives and the system.diagnostics classes in Lesson 5.8. Close Visual Studio now, and you've now completed Lesson 1.10 Understand the output window.